नमस्ते प्रणाम गीता ध्यान ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudevasutam devam kansachanuramardanam devaki paramanandam krishnam vande jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the 9th adhyay of Rajavidya, Rajaguhya Yoga, and Sri Krishna in the previous Shloka, previous verse that we read, he told us that whichever way a devotee endowed with Shraddha worships any god, for that matter, not only the Avyakta Akshara Parabrahman, but any god that a devotee endowed with Shraddha worships, that worship comes to me alone, although that worship may be in an unprescribed format, avidhipurva. That's what Sri Krishna told us. Yapyanya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaha te api mameva kaunteya yajantya avidhipurvakam. As simple as that. Whether they worship me directly as the Satchidananda Akshara Avyaya Brahman, or they worship me through other deities. Now, what does Sri Krishna mean by worshipping in the form of other deities? That is, worshipping in the form of different sacrifices. Because that was the mode of worship being followed in those days. For everything there was a sacrifice, and for every sacrifice there was a presiding deity for that. We know, there have been, we have read about so many sacrifices being done in the past, like King Dashrath to have a son. He did that Putra Kameshti Yajna. Then Lord Rama himself, he did that Ashwamedha Yajna. That to conquer the earth, to conquer that portion of land, the performer of this Ashwamedha Yajna, he will set aside a horse, and whichever distance the horse covers, that land comes under the sovereignty of this king. If there is anybody who catches hold of that ashwa, that horse, and asks for a fight, then there is a fight, there is a war, and whosoever wins, the ashwa goes to them. If the owner of this sacrifice, if the performer of this sacrifice wins the war, then the horse goes further ahead. And that was during this Ashwamedha Yajna that Lord Rama's sons Lava and Kush, they had caught hold of that horse, and they had challenged Lakshmana and Ram to fight with them. So anyway, so that in this way, the sacrifices that used to be performed in the ancient times, each sacrifice had a presiding deity. And Sri Krishna says, people worship so many deities in the form of various sacrifices, but even those worships done by the bhaktas endowed with Shraddha, done by the devotees endowed with Shraddha, that worship reaches me alone. The mode of worship may be totally unprescribed, may be inferior to what a devotee will meditate with thought of oneness with me. That the devotee will worship all the beings, feeling my presence in them, and through my presence in them he starts worshipping all those beings. That is the highest mode of worship, Krishna said. This is a lower mode of worship. But even then, through this lower mode of worship also, this avidhi purvaka worship also, they reach me only. That is what Sri Krishna told us in this 23rd shloka that we read. Now in 24th shloka, Sri Krishna is further making it very clear as to the type of worship that he has spoken about in this 23rd shloka. And that's how I referred to this explanation of different sacrifices. The 24th shloka, the Sri Krishna explains why this kind of different modes of worships, they are a bit inferior, or they are not prescribed modes of worship. Sri Krishna says, ahaṁ hi sarva-yajñānāṁ bhoktā cha prabhureva cha natu mam abhijānanti tattvenātaśh chyavanti. Now Sri Krishna tells here, what are those other modes of worship that he spoke about in the 23rd shloka by way of epya anya devata bhoktā yajante shraddhayanvitaha. Though people, devotees endowed with shraddha, they may worship so many other deities. Now, which are those modes of worship? Sri Krishna is saying here in this 24th shloka as they are performing the yajñas, the sacrifices, those are the sacrificial acts. That is the mode of ritualistic worship as prescribed in the ritual section of the scriptures, Karma Kanda. Ahaṁ hi sarva-yajñānāṁ bhoktā cha prabhureva cha. Sarva-yajñānāṁ, all kinds of sacrifices. Whatever types of sacrifices people do, the sacrificial act is a ritualistic worship. Whatever mode of worship, whatever mode of yajna, whatever mode of sacrifice, these people they do. Ahaṁ hi sarva-yajñānāṁ bhoktā. I am only the receiver of all the oblations they are offering into that sacred fire. Whatever they are offering it to the sacred fire, to the preceding deity of that sacrifice, I am only receiving it. Ahaṁ hi sarva-yajñānāṁ bhoktā. Bhoktā is, I am the enjoyer, I am the receiver. And prabhureva cha, and I am also the Lord of the yajna. I am above that preceding deity. Preceding deity may be for that particular one sacrificial act. Maybe preceding deity for Ashwamedha Yajna is X. Preceding deity for Putra Kameshti Yajna may be Y. Preceding deity for Rajasuya Yajna may be Z. But Sri Krishna says, the ultimate deity, the Prabhu, the overall lordship of all these sacrifices, it is with me. And I am the enjoyer of all these oblations, all these sacrifices that these people are providing in this sacred fire. People are giving as oblations in this sacred fire. I am the enjoyer. Natu mam abhijānanti tattvenātaśh chyavanti te. Natu is but not. Mam abhijānanti. But they don't know me. Tattvena, in reality. In reality, they don't know me. They only know the preceding deity of this sacrificial act, of this yajna. They don't know I am the ultimate Lord of all these yajnas. Natu mam abhijānanti tattvena ataha chyavanti. And therefore, since they don't know me to be the ultimate deity, They consider that smaller deity only to be the whole and soul for that yajna. That means that deity may be the whole and soul for that yajna. Like the government official who is in charge of, say, X function, so who is in charge of revenues, he may be doing the tasks pertaining to revenue-related things. He may sanction your application if you want something, but he is not the ultimate authority of the government. He is only pertaining to that department. If there is a government official looking after health, he will look only after health. He won't dabble into what is happening in finance department, directorate, or directorate of information technology. He won't look into that. He will look only into his scope of work. Likewise, even these preceding deities of the Yajnyas, they have limited scope to only provide that. Beyond that, they cannot. But then who is the ultimate governor? Who is the governor general? It is the ultimate Lord. Under that ultimate lordship, these small gods come, and therefore Sri Krishna says they don't know me to be the ultimate enjoyer of all these sacrifices they are making, all these offerings that they are offering. They don't know that I am the ultimate Lord of all these sacrificial acts that are being performed. And therefore, considering these preceding deities to be the ultimate, they keep on doing it, and as a result, what happens? What happens? These people, chyavanti, they have a, they fall down. They have a downfall. Downfall into what? They may be getting the fruits of their desires with which they have performed the sacrifice. But ultimately, they have to again fall in that net of the life and death. There is no escape from that. The escape can only the Governor General can give. The small deities, they cannot. They will fulfill your wishes. They will give you whatever you seek for. If that too, if they can give, that too, if it is in their jurisdiction. If it is not in their jurisdiction, even they can't give that. But if the ultimate Governor General thinks that it should be given to you, the Governor General will make some provision of allotting it to you. Maybe through the same preceding deity, maybe through the same government official. But you will not know. You will not know it has come from the ultimate top. You will think this fellow has given. And Sri Krishna says, there is a risk involved in that kind of worship. Since people don't know that it has come from the source direct, who is providing, who is the creator of this creation. He is providing you. For him, giving you a few things of that you want is negligible for that matter. The one who has created this creation, for him giving you a small amount of money, or giving you a little bit of health, or taking care of some of your problems is no big deal at all. But we think that, oh, this deity has given me. I am so grateful. The deity is so gracious. And what happens? We get trapped. And that results in our chyavanti. That results in our fall. That results, we are happy to receive such a small gift rather than the huge treasure. After all, Sri Krishna has told us, I am the treasure house. I am the nidhanam. Didn't he tell us? So instead of seeking anything from that treasure, we seek from the small lords. We seek from the small officials of the Lord. And that results in our downfall. That results in we are again trapped in that cycle of birth and death. And we have no liberation, we have no elimination, we have no nirvana. We are time and again, we take birth, we leave, we die. We again take birth, we leave, we die. So Sri Krishna says that worshipping these small lords, okay, that is also a way that ultimately that worship comes to me. But that doesn't lead to your deliverance from this cycle of birth and death. that doesn't result in liberating you from this chakra of Mahamaya. Therefore, I am verily the enjoyer. Ahaṁ hi sarva-yajñānāṁ bhoktā. Cha prabhureva cha. I am the ultimate Lord. Natu mam abhijānanti tattvenātaśh chyavanti te. Tattvenātaśh. Therefore, chyavanti te. They fall down. They come back to this world again and again and again. The same food, when fed by the nurse, has one effect on the body and mind of the baby, quite another when fed by the mother. When mother feeds the baby, that feeding has got some very special impact, very special effect than the nanny just feeding the baby. Food may be same, but nanny is giving and mother is giving. There is hell of a lot of difference, isn't it? Nanny is doing her duty. Mother, she's not only doing her duty, she is offering all her love and affection and all her bonding to the child when she is feeding the baby. There is no substitute in the world for mother's love, and this makes a world of difference in the build of the baby, in the growth of the baby. This makes a difference, yes. Mother taking care of the child and some other lady taking care of the child, yes, there is a vast difference. The love of Ishvara is the love of mother, and much more than love of the mother even. The love of Ishvara is uncomparable, it is unparalleled. And that is what in the case of Sri Ramakrishna's love for his disciples used to say, even our parents don't love us to the extent that Sri Ramakrishna loves us. His love towards us is absolutely unparalleled. His disciples used to say, they have put it in their biographies, in their autobiographies, in their writings, that Sri Ramakrishna's love for his disciples was uncomparable, it was unparalleled. And they said, even our parents cannot love us to the extent, to the way that Sri Ramakrishna loves us. The minor gods give their votaries things impermanent and entangle them more in the wheel of birth and death. And therefore Sri Krishna says that chyavanti te. These minor gods, these preceding deities of the sacrificial acts, they provide this, but they don't give liberation. You want sun? Okay, you will have sun. You want land? You will have land. You want this? You will have that. Fine. But beyond that, these preceding deities cannot give any other thing. That is the limitation with these preceding deities. And then, in fact, these preceding deities, they are also giving it at the consent of the ultimate Lord. So they are just a go-between. The effect of worship of Ishvara is different. While granting the devotees the things of the world they pray for, he inculcates in them increased bhakti and jnana, which prepare them for the mukti. It is only the Ishvara, it is only the ultimate Lord, it is only the eternal Lord that can give liberation to the devotees, that can inspire the devotees to attain, get onto that path of liberation. Only he can do it. These smaller gods, they cannot do it. This power is exclusively with Ishvara. He is therefore the enjoyer and the Lord of all the Yajnyas. After all, he is the ultimate authority. And like I said, he is the Governor General. It is incumbent on the sadhaka to understand this truth and then devote himself or herself exclusively to the worship of Ishvara. Now, Sri Krishna is telling us all these different ways people do adopt to worship different deities. Sri Krishna says, why you have to do all these roundabout things? Come directly to me, straight to me. I am there. And coming straight to me is so easy because I am one with you. Sri Krishna says, Ananya. Yeah, I am not different from you. I am not separate from you. I am so much within you. Just look in. Realize your oneness with me. And with that ananya bhava, with that ananya shraddha, just worship me. Come to me. I'm all yours. See me in all the beings. See me in all the jivas you see around. See me in everything that you see around. I am there in each and every atom of this creation. Look at me. Worship these people. Worship these beings. Worship these objects in the creation, filled with my presence. And you will realize the ultimate truth. You will get into that state of liberation, the mukti, the nirvana that all the seekers are striving for. So that was this 24th shloka. Once again, Sri Krishna telling us, and in fact, Sri Krishna has time and again told us that he is the ultimate, he is the adhidaiva. He didn't tell, he told us in the 8th adhyay, in that 4th shloka. Sri Krishna told us that adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha purushashchadhidaivatam purusha cha adhidaivatam adhiyajño ahameva matra dehe deha bhutam varam. Sri Krishna has time and he is repeatedly telling us, I am the ultimate. I am the adhiyajñoha me vatra. I am the adhiyajña. I am the ultimate presiding deity. Not these small deities. They are just chiller. They are just minor gods, goddesses. They give to you on my consent. They give to you under my authority. I am the adhibhuta. I am the adhidaiva. I am the adhiyajña. Sri Krishna has told us in the 8th adhyaya also. And here again Sri Krishna is telling that ultimately it is I am only receiving everything. I am the enjoyer. And I am the Prabhu of all these sacrifices. So, understand something, learn something from my teaching, and then start worshipping the eternal Lord, rather than going by this roundabout way. Although Sri Krishna says that also is the way. But I am so near to you. Why do you take all these diversions? Come straight to me. So that was the 24th shloka of the Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga, and that is our reading for the day. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.